Всім добрий вечір.
On behalf of the brave, on behalf of every father and every mother who waits for freedom, on behalf of our warriors, and paves the way for a new history.
Hello and welcome to Tochnyi Weekly, the show that gets behind the headlines to discuss the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We have a new intro with 100% less violence, looking pretty good. Really excited about that. Thanks so much to our designer, Chris, for working on the new intro. We have an excellent broadcast for you today. First, I'll be presenting the news. Then German Aid to Ukraine has sent in a video of his report because he's, I think, watching some debates in the German elections, something to that effect. So, yeah, he won't be joining us directly, but he did leave his report. Then we will be joined by our guest, Mr. Fabian Hoffman, who we've had on the program before. He's an expert in strategy and nuclear issues in Europe, and he's here to talk to us a little bit about some stuff Erlend wanted to talk about. So that'll be an excellent discussion between Erlend and our guest. So thanks again to our audience, and I'll jump into the news. These are the main headlines as of February 16th, 2025. Up first, we have operations. Ukrainian emergency teams successfully extinguished a fire at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant's protective shelter covering the damaged Unit 4 following a Russian drone attack on February 14th. The shelter, designed to contain radiation from the 1986 nuclear disaster, was compromised, but radiation levels remain stable and within normal limits, as confirmed by the Ukrainian Ministry of Internal Affairs. President Zelensky addressed the situation on Telegram and condemned the attack as deliberate, noting the strategic low-altitude flight of the drone at 85 meters to avoid radar detection, and stressed the significance of the shelter, which was the result of international efforts involving Europe, the United States, and other global partners committed to genuine security measures. Ukraine's automated systems continue to monitor radiation levels across 39 points in the exclusion zone, with the capability to provide updates from hourly to minute by minute in emergency situations, ensuring a prompt and accurate assessment as confirmed by Ukraine's Minister of Environmental Protection. On the night of February 11th, Ukrainian drones targeted key facilities in Russia's Saratov Oblast, striking a major oil refinery and causing explosions near a military airbase, according to reports from both Ukrainian and Russian officials and corroborated by local sources. The Saratov oil refinery, operated by Rosneft and known for its significant processing capacity of 7 million tons of oil annually, was set ablaze. Concurrently, residents in the nearby town of Engels, where Russia's strategic bomber base and its oil supply depot are situated, experienced multiple explosions. The governor of Saratov acknowledged the damage to an industrial facility, but suggested it resulted from drone debris rather than a direct strike. Where have I heard that before? The Russian Defense Ministry reported intercepting 40 drones across 5 regions on that night, including 18 in Saratov alone. Local accounts from Saratov described the chaos of the night, with residents reporting that explosions caused the windows to rattle, car alarms to go off, and they shared videos online capturing sounds of drone engines, gunfire, and searchlight scanning for drones. Significant explosions were also reported around the Engels 2 military airfield in the town of Engels, which houses Tu-95MS and Tu-160 strategic bombers used in missile attacks against Ukraine. The recent strike follows a similar attack on the same refinery on January 14th, which also targeted the Engels 2 airfield infrastructure and the Ros Reserve Crystal Fuel Depot, causing fires and damage to facilities storing scarce aviation fuel. Welcome Media in Russia has reported that Russian army officers are aggressively pushing draftees who have been active in combat since 2022 to sign professional contracts with the Defense Ministry. The investigation was supported by interviews with several soldiers currently stationed in Ukraine, their spouses, and numerous discussions in Telegram chat groups. Draftees who resist signing the contracts are threatened with reassignment to frontline assault units, where their chances of survival are slim, and they are given only a few hours to make the decision. According to the reports, the pressure tactics vary. Some soldiers are offered contracts under fair conditions, while others are coerced with threats of dangerous reassignments. The wife of one soldier noted that refusing the offers can lead to undesirable deployments regardless of one's official status, and she described the contacts as a trap that soldiers find difficult to escape once signed. Officers are under pressure to meet recruitment quotas, which influences their aggressive tactics in securing contracts, often leading to inflated and possibly deceptive reporting of recruitment figures. Soldiers who sign service contracts forfeit the significant one-time payment that civilian volunteers also receive. The overall decline in willingness to enlist has been significant, with recruitment numbers in Moscow dropping from 250 volunteers per day to just 40. Many who resist signing express concerns not only about being deployed in Ukraine, but potentially indefinitely to other conflicts around the world. Ukrainian cyber experts have successfully carried out a significant cyber attack on Russia's energy sector, according to a report from Ukrinform, citing a source within Ukraine's intelligence agency, HUR. The major cyber operation impacted 23 Russian companies, including Gazprom's main contractor, Gazstroyprom, and its subsidiaries that are integral to the construction and maintenance of Russia's oil and gas infrastructure. The operation occurred over February 7th through 8th and resulted in extensive disruptions. The source from HUR revealed that the attacks had been part of a broader campaign that started in 2022, with over 100 large-scale cyber attacks launched against various Russian targets, ranging from government websites to critical sectors like nuclear weapons development. The operation reportedly caused losses amounting to several billion rubles for the affected Russian companies. The successful execution of the cyber attack was facilitated through the cooperation of an executive from the targeted holding company who provided Ukraine's defense forces with access to crucial servers, thus exploiting existing vulnerabilities in Russia's cybersecurity defenses. As a result of the operation, more than 120 servers and over 1,500 virtual machines were disabled. File storage with more than 2 million gigabytes of documentation was destroyed, and upwards of 10,000 employee computers were rendered inoperative, leading to a complete shutdown of all systems and services for the impacted companies. On the morning of February 9th, an explosion in the engine room of the oil tanker Koala at the Ust-Luga port in the northwest of Russia led to an emergency evacuation of its crew, as reported by Russia's Federal Agency for Sea and Inland Water Transport via telegram. The vessel, docked at a port west of St. Petersburg, experienced significant damage, although it was confirmed that there was no risk of the tanker sinking and, importantly, no oil spill or leakage from its cargo occurred. Authorities are investigating the cause of the explosion but have not provided any specifics yet. The Koala, a tanker flying the Antigua and Barbuda flag, was built in 2023 and had docked at the port on February 6th after being tracked by vessel finder. According to reports, it was transporting 130,000 tons of heavy fuel oil. The incident adds to a recent pattern of mishaps involving tankers, including 2 that were severely damaged in the Black Sea in December, which led to a substantial fuel spill that affected coastal areas. So normally I would put that in economy, but there was an explosion, so it felt like it belonged there. Up next, we have economy and aid. Norwegian Defense Minister Tore Anshu Sandvik, how to do Erlend, recently announced Norway's joining of the Drone Coalition, a group focusing on supporting Ukraine with drones during the war with Russia. Norway has allocated 700 million Norwegian kroners to a multinational initiative dedicated to purchasing drones for Ukraine, with plans in 2025 to utilize additional funds from the non-send drone and drone technology programs. Norway is already heavily involved in the capability coalitions. It co-leads the Maritime Security Coalition with the UK and participates in the Air Defense Coalition led by Germany and France. Ukroboronprom, a key defense manufacturer, and Thales International SAS, a French firm specializing in aerospace and defense information systems, have recently formalized a joint venture agreement. Announced at the Munich Security Conference, the collaboration aims to enhance technological advancements and responsive support in several critical defense areas, including air defense, radar, electronic warfare, tactical communications, and electro-optical systems. Ola Huliak, CEO of Ukroboronprom, highlighted that the partnership is strategically important for Ukraine as it bolsters the nation's defense capabilities against Russian military threats and enriches the Ukrainian defense sector with cutting-edge technology and expertise. Thales is a group known for its global reach and specialization in information systems applicable to aerospace, defense, and maritime sectors. It's headquartered in Paris. The new joint venture builds on a foundation laid in June 2024 when Thales signed 3 agreements with Ukrainian defense entities to collaborate on projects involving EW, air defense, radar, and drones. The UK has recently unveiled a new surface-to-air missile system called Gravehawk, specifically designed to bolster Ukraine's defenses against aerial threats such as drones, cruise missiles, and aircraft. Developed by a specialized team within the UK Ministry of Defence known as Task Force Kindred, the system was produced in just 18 months at a development cost of £6 million. The Gravehawk system incorporates the Soviet-era R-73 air-to-air missile, which has been modified for launch from a ground-based system. The missile is capable of engaging targets up to 40 kilometers away, depending on the variant, and is widely used in the Ukrainian Air Force, making it a sensible choice for integration due to its availability and established utility. Housed in a standard ISO transport container, the Gravehawk system is designed for ease of transport and rapid deployment via truck, train, or ship. The containerization also facilitates discrete movement and swift setup in various operational contexts. The system is operated by a crew of 5 and includes an advanced optical station that uses passive infrared radiation to detect targets based solely on their heat signatures. The feature ensures that the system doesn't emit radar signals, which reduces its visibility to enemy forces. The optical outputs are managed from a compact command module, which is portable and the size of a briefcase, allowing for mobile and flexible command operations. Currently, the Ukrainian Armed Forces have received 2 units of the Gravehawk system, with plans to deliver an additional 15 units by the end of the year. Each system is priced at about £1 million, with Denmark contributing to half the funding for each unit. Also, the UK has committed to significantly enhancing its defense support to Ukraine with a new aid package announced by UK Defense Secretary John Healey. During the commencement of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group meeting in Brussels, Healey declared the UK's provision of an additional £150 million worth of military support. The package includes tanks, artillery, and air-to-air missiles, alongside new contracts aimed at the maintenance and repair of equipment previously supplied. Healey is chairing the Ramstein meeting in Brussels for the first time, and his remarks emphasize broader implications of the war in Ukraine, asserting that the nation's security is intrinsically linked to global security. The Netherlands is set to provide Ukraine with 25 YPR tracked armored vehicles designed for evacuating the wounded, announced by the Dutch Defense Minister. The Dutch Defense Minister also noted that in collaboration with the Czech Republic and the United States, the partner nations had fulfilled their promise of delivering the last of the T-72 battle tanks previously pledged to Ukraine. According to a recent report by the Financial Times, Russia's military spending experienced a significant surge in 2024, increasing 42% to reach 13.1 trillion rubles, which is approximately $462 billion when adjusted for purchasing power parity. The increase in spending has resulted in Russia's military budget surpassing the combined defense expenditures of all European Union nations plus the United Kingdom. Combined, these countries increased their defense spending by around 12% in 2024, totaling about $457 billion. The International Institute for Strategic Studies, which provided the data for the report, also forecasts a continued rise in Russian military expenditures. It projects an increase of 13.7% for 2025, which would bring Russia's defense spending to about 15.6 trillion rubles, or roughly $166 billion. In comparison, among the European nations, Germany led in defense spending in absolute terms with $86 billion, followed by the UK at $81 billion and France at $64 billion. Relative to their GDPs, Estonia and Poland were the leaders in military spending percentages at 4% and 3.25% respectively. However, their total expenditures, $1.7 billion for Estonia and $28 billion for Poland, were significantly lower than those of the larger European economies. An investigative report by Schemes, a unit of Radio Liberty, revealed that despite Western sanctions, around 24 Chinese companies are supplying Russia with crucial materials such as gallium, germanium, and antimony, which are important for the manufacturing of military equipment. The minerals are integral for producing components like drones, missiles, and night vision goggles. The Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project highlighted that at least a third of these Chinese suppliers are partially state-owned. Notably, China was identified as the sole foreign supplier of gallium and germanium to Russia in 2023 and continues to be the primary supplier of antimony. The report pinpointed companies such as Yunnan Linkong Xinyuan Germanium Industry and Vital Technology Group, which have significant stakes held by members of the Chinese Communist Party and Chinese state structures. These Chinese firms are channeling minerals to major Russian defense players like Rostec, a state-owned conglomerate responsible for supplying approximately 80% of the weaponry used by Russia in Ukraine. The flow of materials occurs despite global sanctions, suggesting that bilateral trade between Chinese and Russian companies in these sectors has not been directly hindered by Western sanctions. The investigation also uncovered that Ferrotech Nord, a Russian subsidiary of a Japanese company, has been importing antimony from China and supplying silicon wafers to Russian military microelectronics manufacturers. Another concern is that some of these materials might be reaching Russia's nuclear weapons industry through transactions with Cryotrade Engineering, a Russian company receiving gallium from China's Heinhe Technology Limited. Experts like Tatiana Solomacha from the Kyiv Aviation Institute and Anton Pabuda from Lab 41 emphasize the critical role the minerals play in military technology. Vladislav Vlasyuk, a sanctions policy commissioner for Ukrainian President Zelensky, noted that direct cooperation between Chinese and Russian firms insulates them from the impact of Western sanctions. And finally, we have international relations. In a significant cooperative law enforcement effort named Operation Avengers, Ukrainian and Moldovan authorities have successfully apprehended 3 Moldovan nationals who previously fought for the Wagner Group, a Russian state-backed private military company. These individuals participated in major military operations, including the notorious Battle for Bakhmut in Donetsk. Their participation spanned from key conflicts at the Donetsk airport to the encirclement of Debaltseve between 2014 and 2023, serving not only in Wagner but also in the Somali Battalion and other units under Russian command. The Wagner Group has been consistently implicated in severe war crimes in Ukraine, which has been intensifying since 2022. The joint operation saw the participation of over 200 officers from Ukraine's National Police, Moldova's Interior Ministry, and supported by Europol, utilized a virtual command post to enhance real-time intelligence exchange and cross-reference data within Europol systems. During the operation's initial phase, authorities executed 50 searches, which led to the confiscation of various items such as documents and electronic devices that provided evidence of the detainees' roles in combat and their associations with the Wagner Group. The Moldovan authorities charged the 3 captured individuals under their national laws against mercenary activities with potential sentences of up to 10 years in prison. The operation has also set the stage for broader investigations, as the Ukrainian police have identified 85 more Moldovan nationals suspected of fighting alongside Russian forces. The information has been shared with Moldovan law enforcement for further action. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania have successfully completed their disconnection from Russia's energy system, marking a significant step in their energy independence and further integration into European infrastructure. The development was confirmed by European Pravda, citing a statement from Estonia's Foreign Affairs Ministry. The disconnection was executed on Saturday, the 8th of February 2025, following previous commitments by the Baltic states to sever their energy ties with Russia. Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Šahkna heralded the event as a historic day for European integration. The plan to disconnect and synchronize with ENTSO-E was officially confirmed by the energy ministers of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania back in July of 2024, with a targeted completion date of February of 2025. Until this disconnection, the Baltic states, along with Russia and Belarus, were part of a centrally managed electricity supply system based in Moscow. Since May 2022, all 3 Baltic countries had ceased importing electricity from Russia, which laid the groundwork for the full separation. And last item this week, President Zelensky has decided against a U.S. proposal that would grant Washington approximately 50% ownership of Ukraine's rare earth minerals, as reported by the Financial Times. Zelensky's rejection stemmed from concerns over the absence of explicit security guarantees from the United States within the proposed deal. During a meeting in Kyiv with Scott Bessent, the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, a document was presented that required Zelensky's signature before Bessent's return to Washington. The document was described by Bessent as an economic agreement aimed at deepening economic ties between the U.S. and Ukraine, purportedly offering a, quote, long-term security shield for all Ukrainians. However, Ukrainian officials have expressed reservations, noting that the proposed agreement lacks specific commitments on future U.S. security guarantees, which are critical to Ukraine, especially in light of the ongoing hostilities. The deal was characterized by one official as typical of, quote, Trump deal-making, implying a hard bargain with potentially unequal benefits. Concerns were particularly pointed regarding the agreement's failure to link the mineral rights to broader security assurances from the U.S. and its allies. The stipulation that disputes over mineral rights would be adjudicated in New York courts added another layer of controversy, signaling a potential loss of legal sovereignty for Ukraine in those matters. In response, the Ukrainian authorities are reportedly seeking to renegotiate the terms to secure a more favorable outcome that aligns with the country's security needs and sovereignty aspirations. And that's it for the main headlines this week. We'll now move to the next segment.
Hello guys, as always, I will now present this week's most important news from Germany regarding Ukraine. We start with an update shared by Rheinmetall on Monday. The German defense giant made the delivery of a further 5 Caracal air assault vehicles to Ukraine public. These vehicles are in use with the Ukrainian Special Forces and are part of the ongoing deliveries to Ukraine financed by the German government. This brings the total number of Caracals delivered to 20, with 5 more to follow in the near future. And last but not least, I know, just a little segment. On Friday, the German drone manufacturer Quantum Systems announced in a press release that they will double the production capacity of their Kyiv-based production facility over the course of this year to meet the growing demands in Ukraine. Quantum Systems supplies state-of-the-art vector eVTOL UAVs to the Ukrainian armed forces since early 2022, most of them financed by the German government. For 2025, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense asked the German Ministry of Defense for at least 800 additional vector eVTOL UAVs, each drone system worth around 200,000 euros. And that's already it for my segment, so back to you, Joseph.
And so we'll see everyone next week. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава!
On behalf of the brave.